Most of the time, rolling up on an expedition, we know a little bit about what we're going to see. The artifacts tell the story and we're able to reconstruct the history of them for you. This time, it's going to be a little different.
Texas is full of lost history, from lost cemeteries to abandoned buildings, from the infamous to the obscure. Hitch a ride and travel across the Lone Star State, looking for hints of Texas' colorful past, our lost history. This is Expedition Texas, and we're gonna find it.
Expedition Texas, presented by JMT Music Entertainment. See your favorite artists live in concert. Find shows near you on Facebook at JMT Music Entertainment. A year ago, we traveled to Palestine, Texas, to the Trinity River bottom for a horseback ride out to the river with Bo and Jody Harding. It was an adventure, to say the least.
We're going horseback, and we brought you a ride. We got it right over there.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Riding horses today.
Yeah.
Cool, let's go. Recently, we heard from Bo and Jody again about something they dug out of the ground on their property while attempting to build a lake. Bo and Jody are sure there's more to find, but there's no guarantee this time that we're going to find it. Jody and Bo.
How you doing?
How are y'all? Okay, so I'm not real clear on what all we're here to see, but you guys found something here, right?
We did.
Okay.
We did. Well, he did.
Okay,
Yeah.
Bo, what did you find, man?
I don't know, other than it's an old water turbine. That's all I really know what it is. I mean, we had a spot where we stopped the water in the creek, and once the water run down, you could see it, the part of the wheel sticking out of the ground, which, I mean, we don't really know how long it's been there, but it's a water turbine that was turned by horses years ago.
What were you doing?
Building a lake, and this was, it's the spillway to the lake, and the water, once it runs spillway, I had to cut the bank of the creek so the water run back into the creek.
Yeah.
And it shut the water down just for a second, you could see it.
Well,
Really?
he had told me I walked the creek and I noticed a waterfall. Never thought another thing about it. And then once it stopped the creek, he called and he said, "You got to get here and see this." I said, "What did you do?" You know, that's my first thought. He said, "No, I went down and looked at this waterfall." He goes, and then it occurred to me that these rocks are not from here. They're not local. They were really different. So, and you'll see them. They're just a different type of rock, and they had a lot of shell and a lot of fossils, and it just wasn't the normal iron ore that you see around here. And so he said, "I accidentally stopped the creek up for a minute, and I was rearranging dirt. There's a wheel." So 5 hours later, and the backhoe and the dozer and several family members, we pulled a wheel up.
So you kind of got a little off track with what you were doing to start pulling stuff out of the ground, and I've seen pictures, and we'll probably show some of these pictures of you dragging this stuff out of the mud. So what? There's other parts that you found. What are they?
It's a cast. It had to be poured and made, you know, back in the day when it was made. It's attached to a 12-inch pole, probably 12 to 16 foot long, octagon hand-cut pole.
It's hand-cut, perfectly preserved. It's really beautiful.
With square nails in it and square wooden gears.
Yeah, the cogs on it are wooden, with the square nails, and
Really?
And the end, when we finally got the end up, which is what we'd like to go look for today, is the other end. It has a metal piece on it that, well, after research, you can tell that it's probably what attached to a harness of a horse or donkey or whatever.
Really?
It turned this.
Oh, wow. So you guys have been in touch with local historians to try to find out what exactly you have here. Any details, anything from them on what you might have dug up out here?
It's kind of a broad spectrum, but everything we found online, and there's still several places up north that make these poles, mainly for historical reasons, and we had seen them throughout our travels in various grist mills and things.
Yeah.
We know it was a water turbine. This particular one dates between 1750 and 1850.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So getting back that far, we've managed to go back just a little in the late 1800s, early 1900s here. We know what was farmed here. You can walk up the creek and see what was farmed here as well still. For everything from the sugar cane that was through the grains. And so we're just trying to get down to the bottom of it, literally.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go check it out.
Okay.
All right.
Until we picked it up, we didn't know the poles attached to it because it was buried in the sand. Once it did, we stopped in and was trying to be more careful.
Wow. This week we're near Palestine, Texas, where Bo and Jody Harding have found some parts of a historic mill in a creek on their property. They've invited us to come out and see what they found and to help them find even more. Near where we met up with Bo and Jody, they had one of their finds laid out for us to see.
When we first found it, it was sitting up. We didn't actually know which direction this was going to go. And it was laying in the creek on its side. It's already starting to rust and oxidize. It's been out just long enough. Thought that it would, maybe like a steamboat wheel, what people would understand. It was almost like a wheel of a car. We thought it went this way, but no, not so much. After researching, it lays this way. The pole we found would stand up this way, and then whatever's moving it, or whatever the horse is, whatever's moving it would push the water up. And so
this pulls water in.
It does. You want to explain how?
You know how a wooden barrel works?
Yeah.
They had wooden pipes like that that's wrapped with a band, and they stick this pipe in the water. It's just bigger around, same as this is. They take this and they stick it down into the water. Up top, you got horses that turn it. They turn it like this, and it pulls the water up that wooden pipe into a wooden trough.
Really?
And it carries the water wherever it goes.
Wow.
The Egyptians and every people,
it goes back to the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians.
Really?
It's very, very old design.
That is so cool. Can we tilt this up so they can see it?
We were very careful in trying to preserve.
You can see the wooden gears.
Yeah, the wooden gears, which we saved. They were still attached and nailed to the shaft, I suppose. And so we saved them best we could.
Until we picked it up, we didn't know the pole was attached to it because it was buried in the sand. Once it did, we stopped in and just trying to be more careful.
Wow. And just down the hill where Bo is building the new lake is the pole that goes into the wheel, along with some parts that held it all together.
There's I think we have 7 pieces that'll go around the end of this.
They put them in there and they wedge them down in there.
Hold on, they would have fit around the pole like that,
Awesome.
We were in Pittsburgh and they had one of these systems set up that pulled a trolley. And was still in service. They were using it just for, a museum-wise, but it was still working, but it had the same pulley system. And the pole.
However old it is, the fact that it's been in the water that long and stay together. That is just the coolest part.
Maybe I'm gonna pull up here a little closer.
What's in there?
Here's the pole that it was attached to.
We had to attach the chain because once we got it up out of the water, it would float. It's just so preserved. We just didn't want it to start to.
Still on it.
Look at that.
Yeah. So as soon as we moved that bottom, the water turbine, I was screaming stop because I didn't want to tear up any of these. Here's the dog. Any of the
pole.
So, but here you can see it's about 12 feet long at the end where they squared it off.
I couldn't figure out what this was, but I believe it's lead. The peg that's in the end. I'm almost positive that's lead.
Okay.
It's pretty soft. It had to be drove into there, drilled out and drove in. It had this band that went on it.
The band came off as we pulled it up. It also had
on it.
Wooden pegs holding it on.
But it's going to have more parts around here, I think, that slid over, because this is what would turn it. And like I said, this is the centerpiece, and the other part is what we're going to try to find today.
Oh, we're going to go try to find more?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's probably 3 or 4 foot under the ground there where this.
You don't mind getting a little wet and muddy?
No, I don't mind that at all, especially when we're going to go dig up something cool like this. So where was this? In relation to where we are now?
Over this way, probably 300 or 400 yards.
In the creek.
In the creek.
In the creek. So this had something had a lot to do with the creek.
It definitely did. They were using the water in the creek as a source.
Here's your ring back.
So next it was off to the creek to try to find more artifacts of the old mill.
She had wanting us to get a beach house. So I bought a place on the creek. It's really an extension of the beach.
Yeah.
Justified that the Trinity goes into the beach.
Okay. Man, I like that logic.
It's a beach house.
How's it going, folks?
We're always seeming to get ourselves into something, so we always have some friends and family close by that. I'm not sure so much they're here to help us as they are to just watch us and we're entertaining them. I don't know if they're waiting to see what we get into.
Yeah. And coming up next, we get into the creek to try to find more artifacts from the old mill.
Got to take about a 5-minute break. Got the dozer stuck.
The dozer stuck? How do you get a dozer stuck?
We're near Palestine, Texas to see some pre-Civil War mill parts found by Bo and Jody Harding. The Hardings have shown us things they found on their own, an old horizontal water wheel and the massive shaft that drove it. But now it's time to get into the creek they came from to find more parts of that old mill.
You see the waterfall here? Here's where we stopped the creek.
Okay.
When I pushed the dirt down here to stop the creek. And the sand you see in here now wasn't here then. That's all rock underneath the sand.
Okay.
That when it stopped the water, you could see what was going on. Well, once we had to turn the water back loose, it's all the sand that I had pushed down here went back on top of everything.
Okay.
So today we're going to take the pump and blow all the sand loose.
So see, what it technically did was gave him the opportunity to buy toy.
Ah.
So yes, that hence
The pump.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, listen to this. I got a good hit here.
What do you think's down there?
Got to dig.
Got to dig. Is there a shovel?
Yes, sir.
There it is. It's just a broken piece of glass now.
With the water flowing by us, it was difficult to find anything under the water in the creek, so Bo decided to stop up the creek. That's where we bring in the handy-dandy bulldozer. But there was a problem.
Got to take about a 5-minute break. Got the dozer stuck. Yeah?
The dozer stuck? How do you get a dozer stuck?
Well, we're filling up the lake with sand, with water, and all the sand has soaked up enough water. When I went to move, it just sunk. So
That's what happened to me over there a while ago.
yes, I had to get something else to pull it out. It won't take just a second.
Okay. All right, cool. Let's see. Man, he's got that thing stuck up over the wheels. Wonder what he's gonna do to get it out of there.
Bo's attempts to unstick the bulldozer were unsuccessful,
Man, John, this thing is buried up to the engine.
so it was time to bring in reinforcements.
Where do you want to put this? On there. Skip that outside one. Skip that side too. Just bring it back to it.
It might go.
Yeah, let's get away from the chain. Look at that. All right. There we go. He's gonna push dirt off down here and stop up the creek so we can see what we've uncovered down here.
Yes, that's the plan. To stop
That's
the
the
creek
plan.
up and not stop the dozer.
Okay.
We're in Palestine, Texas, where Bo and Jody Harding have discovered parts from some type of mill in a creek near their house. The research they've done leads them to believe that the parts are pre-Civil War. Today we've hopped in the creek to dig for more clues as to what exactly they've found. Bo decided to stop up the creek to help us see better, but not before getting his bulldozer stuck in his new lake. With a little help from the backhoe, the bulldozer was on its way to dam up the creek.
Push dirt off down here and stop up the creek so we can see what we've uncovered down here.
Yes, that's the plan. To stop the creek up and not stop the dozer.
Okay. Yeah, because the dozer can get stuck.
It can.
Yeah, we saw that.
I think it's the real art.
Really.
I mean,
You gotta be super talented. Yeah.
They're not supposed to get that stuck.
Bo's super talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
Never fail. You can do it. Is there another board running across the creek?
Underneath it.
Oh.
That one that we can fit on top of.
Yeah.
Come to the other side and blow that stuff off on the other side of that board. See how far down that they go.
Okay, well you're gonna have to help me get it around before I'll drown Corey.
That's something. It looks like a bone. That bone? I don't know what that is. That may be. It may be a bad day at work or something happened there. There's a bone.
Oh my God.
I think that's what that is.
Looks like it.
Looks like a bone. That's hard. Whatever I'm standing on is hard. Feel that? Oh. Right? Yeah. What was it? I don't know. I can't tell. It's a hard surface down there, whatever it is. I bet we're standing on some kind of concrete or something. Yeah, that's got that concrete look to the back of it.
As the day wore on, we all continued to dig, finding only little chunks of wood here and there, and maybe a few artifacts and maybe a few metal items, but nothing really to give us more of a clue as to what the old mill equipment actually ran.
You know, I've noticed a bit of a pattern whenever I do an expedition with y'all. We tend to get dirty. We tend to, you know, have a lot of fun. We went, last time we were on horseback in the Trinity River bottom, crossed over some water, and we're in the water again.
Yes.
It's you. No.
I don't know. I mean, we don't get to do this much with other guides, but I have a lot of fun with y'all. I think we need to come out here and just ride around on y'all's toys.
That'd be great. Come on.
A lot more. I mean, I've never seen a bulldozer buried that deep. That's like some kind of a record, right?
No, I've seen where I've had one where you can just see the top of the cab.
Well, I always have a lot of fun, and we did find a few more things out here.
Yes.
That are under the water, and I know you are going to continue to dig. This has kind of become a thing now, right?
It has, yeah. It's very intriguing, and we enjoy it.
We're definitely going to find out what's down here all together.
Yeah, well, we're going to probably follow along with you and try to find out what's under here. And of course, if you hear anything, you know, let us know, and we'll do some research too, and try to figure out what this is. But gosh, y'all, thanks for a little adventure today.
Thanks for coming.
It was a lot of
It was
fun.
fun. It was a great Sunday.
Yeah. Fun way to spend a Sunday. Now let's wade out of here.
Jody and Bo will keep digging up and downstream until they find as many parts of the old mill as they can dig out. They've also contacted local historians who plan to date the items and tell them exactly how they were used. In the meantime, there's more lost history waiting to be discovered, and on Expedition Texas, we're going to find it.